All right, we are live. Welcome to the Almost Sideways podcast. This is our first live edition. We are coming at you right after the Oscars. It is Sunday night, April 25th. Episode 123 of our podcast here. And we're debuting here on YouTube. It'll be up on the podcast channel later. We wanted to get our immediate reactions to this year's Academy Awards. And okay, I don't know about you guys, but I had in my head what was going to be the script of what we were going to be talking about. And then the last three categories happened, and I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of in shock and disbelief at this point. I mean, Todd, you actually called that last one. You had that the entire time, and we were all in doubt. So we bow to you. And what do you think is going on at this point?
We're not worthy.
Well, okay. When picture comes out third to last, I was like, what I thought was like they don't want to give away Best Picture by one of the awards. So I was thinking something weird was going to happen, and that ended up being Frances McDormand. And I still thought Anthony Hopkins was the winner. But what to me, what it was these were the tightest two races in the thing. I mean, and you could look at the Vegas odds; they shrunk to almost nothing before the ceremony started between Hopkins and Boseman, and Hopkins somehow came out on top, and they just decided to put that one last. But Frances McDormand winning actress would have given away Best Picture, so that kept that as a surprise. And I also think there's a little bit of this like feeling I have that's like this is a little bit of like Hollywood like spouting a little like anti-capitalism thing where it's like the people that matter are going last, the people that are working, not the people who are paying the people that are working. We're putting the actors last, and we're putting picture before that. And so I think there's a little bit of that in there too.
Zach, this whole going picture before the acting categories. Do you think this was because it was the top two races, or do you think everyone, including Soderbergh, thought Chadwick Boseman's winning and he deserves the last moment of this award show?
They knew, but I think there's something more important that we need to talk about, which is Todd's dress attire. I mean, did you dress up for this?
Oh yeah, it's the Oscars.
I wish I had one of those like tuxedo t-shirts. I was going to wear that.
I got lots of questions. Do you normally dress up during the Oscars? I don't remember this in Vegas.
But I'm also drinking champagne, so here you go, guys.
Not out of a champagne glass. Yeah.
The good night and good luck. Where did that come from, man? There were no Clooney sightings there.
Oh, but David Strathairn, the Best Picture winner.
That's
okay.
David Strathairn is now in a Best Picture winner.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Well, Todd was texting me at one point in the ceremony about George Clooney. So
I mean, he had a nomination, Midnight Sky. No one's talking about that. That was a pretty big story. It didn't win.
Frances McDormand, 4 Oscars.
Gosh, yeah.
Nobody's talking about that either.
She got the producer one too, didn't she? Adam, what are your thoughts on this last?
She barked.
She barked and howled. Yeah.
She pulled a Dwight Schrute. How the wedding.
Adam, what are your thoughts on how that thing ended?
Way to be anticlimactic. That's what I have to say about that. That's I immediately texted, people are pissed on Twitter because first off, the Chadwick win, I think everybody kind of was suspecting that one to happen. But it's Anthony Hopkins. I should say not everyone, but the majority of people I thought had Chadwick winning. And so I knew people were going to.
Can we get a location on where he is? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. He's traveling the world.
I think he's currently in Wales.
He's in Wales right now?
Yeah, spoiler alert, last week, I told you guys he wasn't going to be there and he was going to win.
But I mean, they had enough remote locations. You'd think that he would have shown up at one of them.
Oh, but he doesn't care. He's like 85 years old.
He probably forgot. Forgot that it was tonight. That's probably what happened. But yeah, it was totally anticlimactic, man. That was what an ending.
I know.
It's the only movie with 3 wins, which is also odd.
Right. Well, and that's kind of what you were saying, Todd, in that you thought Frances McDormand winning actress would take all the teeth out of the picture race.
Yeah, yeah, I would have.
Well, and that's what we were texting the whole time is, could Nomadland actually win picture with just director? And we weren't sure if that was even a possibility.
I think All Quiet on the Western Front's the only movie that's ever done that.
Yeah, and then you've got like Grand Hotel, which only was nominated for picture and won.
Yeah.
But so it was gonna come down to who won actress. And that was gonna determine who would get it. I don't know. You could have even thought knowing this though. I mean, you could have thought that like I said last week, the race was between Nomadland and The Father, because you had The Father coming in there beating Nomadland in screenplay, and then you have the actor win. I mean, those had to be the top two candidates looking at resume of what had won.
Yeah.
That's why I got to think they were hoping to give The Last Moment as a tribute to Chadwick. I don't think they knew. There's no way if they knew, there's no way they set it up for the final moment to be, he's not here from Joaquin Phoenix, because it's Joaquin Phoenix, and that was as awkward as possible. Why in the world was Joaquin? Why was Joaquin giving away actor? Why wasn't that Renee Zellweger giving away actor? That's what screwed it all up.
Steven Soderbergh, man. Peter Andrews.
I know, the last time they did that was the year that they had, what was it, 2009, I think, which was when the supporting actress would give the award and like would stand there and like honor all five of there'd be five actresses that had won the category, including the one from the previous year. That was the only time I can remember them like screwing with it like that.
They basically gave the circle jerk to the actors. Actually, I do remember one year when Anthony Hopkins was there, and I think he was introducing Brad Pitt for Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and he was really drunk. That's a good Anthony Hopkins Oscar moment too. Brad Pitt shows up third of a way through Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and before that we've seen an extraordinary character performance by my friend Brad Pitt.
Well, I mean, last week, like an hour after the BAFTAs, he's like drunk, sitting in a chair, like giving his acceptance speech over TikTok or something like that. I mean, that's what Anthony Hopkins is doing nowadays. I expect something like that to pop up here pretty soon.
Have Anthony Hopkins and Glenn Close ever been in a movie together? If not, why has that not happened?
Yeah,
directed by Steven Soderbergh. No, let's not have anything directed by Steven Soderbergh anymore.
Oh, come on. I actually love the way this was. This is way better than Zoom. Like,
parts of it
was kind of cool. I like two awards at once. I mean, they were rolling through it there for a while, and they would let the actors speak and letting the tech guys speak instead of giving them 30 seconds.
Better than Zoom for sure. Better than Zoom for sure.
Look, I mean, what do we know about Steven Soderbergh's movies? They kind of cut out the bullshit. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can swear on here what the rules are, but there's no bullshit in his movies. He's never going to direct, a musical comedy. His movies are straight to the point. So I like that there was no bullshit in this ceremony. They let him speak a little bit longer. I mean, Thomas Vinterberg's speech was like 9 minutes long, and that was at the beginning. And that was like, oh shit, this is going to be like, they're going to actually give real speeches for once. This was the first Oscars in the 25 years that I've ever watched it where no one was cut off, with the possible exception, I think, a little bit of Yoo Jun-yoon. I think everybody was like, okay, we heard from you. Bye. Thank you.
Well, and Tyler Perry got up there and he's like, I have 3 minutes. He's the only one that said that they actually were telling him how much time he had.
Actually, I think the Mank production designer, they got her off the stage pretty fast, but pretty much everyone else got a lot of time. And like categories that you wouldn't think, like the Mank cinematographer dude, that guy was there for like 6 minutes. He went on and on. It felt like it was not the typical usual suspects that got a lot of time to speak. So and of course, Frances McDormand and Joaquin Phoenix got 30 seconds, and that was it. Wrapped up quickly.
Well, Frances McDormand didn't want any time. I don't think she already gave her speech.
She thought she was done. I think she almost felt. It almost looked like she was embarrassed.
Because she just won like 3 years ago, and she's just like, why am I getting another one?
Where was the inclusion rider? Come on, tell us about the inclusion rider. Has it worked? Do we still need it? I think we do. I was hoping for that. I was hoping for inclusion rider part 2.
There we go.
Yeah.
What
Well,
was, what was the best speech?
Good question.
John Baptiste.
Daniel
John Baptiste. That was awesome.
Emerald Fennell thanking Zach Morris was pretty much the highlight of the ceremony for me.
That was pretty good too. No,
I like
love
Daniel
John.
Kaluuya.
I love John Baptiste and
Kaluuya.
him
Yeah,
and
Kaluuya, of
the whole thing with the 12 notes, and everyone's got the same 12 notes. It's what you do with them. And that was pretty cool. I loved his.
It was 30 seconds too long. That one they could have said, okay, thank you. Yep, that's good enough.
I said Kaluuya, but also like the Finterberg speech. That was a little long, but the whole story about his daughter. Holy cow! I didn't even know about that. That makes it heartbreaking.
That shit was crazy. I didn't know about that either. Like that was a genuinely heartbreaking speech, and I thought it was interesting that his daughter's name was Aida because there's another film called Quo Vadis Aida that was in that category. See, it's called Mental Connections. I bet these people didn't notice that, but
brainwaves.
Yeah.
My last second change my Oscar predictions. Let's see. I knew there was going to be chaos somewhere. I thought it was going to be Quo Vadis Aida was going to be at another round. I thought that was going to be. I texted Todd earlier this week and said, "Am I insane to think?" Or I think I was talking to you. Am I insane to think that Quo Vadis Aida could be this year's Lives of Others, and come up? I texted
Todd that too.
Yeah,
but at a different time.
I mean, I only said that like 2 months ago, but you guys finally are catching up on that. But yeah, I mean, Quo Vadis Aida arguably should have won, but I mean, I have no problem with another round.
Adam has no problem with another round. I mean, it's
his number one of the year.
Number one of the year, of course.
Yeah, I love that pick. Sound of Metal getting multiple awards too. I love that one.
When I texted Terry, I will never understand why the song from Another Round did not get nominated, because that song has been in my head ever since I first watched the movie. And when that scene played that they were showing when it was winning the Oscar, I was like, I know like the entirety of that song, and I watched the movie once. Like that song is so ingrained in my head. Like that should have been nominated.
Todd,
I think it probably would have won.
Tell us your thoughts about the Judas and the Black Messiah song.
Yeah, wow.
There's nothing to that song. It's like a tuneless song. I can't believe that's the Oscar winner.
I was banking on Speak Now winning because then I was like, oh, there's still a possibility. That Jason Nix guy who we'll talk about, I guess, Josh Nix, like we could be tied for first.
Did he win? I'm still calculating.
Well,
dude, Josh.
I was looking at it because he has 4 losses. I have 5.
Well, okay, so there were a lot of really young winners. Like the songwriters from that Judas song were really young. They were all in like their early 30s. And like the cinematographer guy, he was super young. And like I was looking like the one, there was another, like the songwriter or the score guy from Minari was like, he's like 30. Like I didn't realize that there were a whole bunch of like really young guys in the tech categories. And that's not normally how it goes. They're usually like really like veterans that are taking those categories. But recently, I mean,
how old is the Mank cinematographer? That guy looked like he was about 22.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there was a whole bunch of really young winners, and I mean, like I was saying last week, like this is the young Academy. Like the young Academy is voting for the younger winners, and Sound of Metal having a nice showing and stuff is a sign of that. And Promising Young Woman, because that is not an old Academy movie at all.
Yeah, that's true. Sound of Metal, this year's Whiplash. They won the same exact awards, other than supporting actor.
Yeah.
So.
I think a lot of people, if you actually are honest, Paul Raci.
Yeah, it should have been. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say so how long is it gonna be until they combine sound and editing now? Because obviously sound editing and sound editing were linked and have been for like a decade now.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think that'll ever happen.
I don't want that to happen.
I think if I remember right, one of the reasons they combined it is because they were both coming from the same guild or something like that.
I think the real question is, when will people realize that if you want to win Best Cinematography, just make your stupid movie in black and white. If you want to win Best Sound, just make a movie that something is in the story about sound.
Well, I think the only black and white movie in the last decade that didn't win cinematography was Cold War, and that's because it lost to another black and white movie in Roma.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, and if anything, I mean, that was one of the biggest favorites, wasn't it? Nomadland in cinematography?
Well, no, because Mank won the guild right after we recorded, and like after everyone had already pretty much like had their final ballots, like Mank won the Guild, and so it was like there's a little like sliver of hope because like the cinematography in No Man's Land is like the main appeal, like the scenery and how it's shot and like the camera work. That's all what makes No Man's Land work.
All right,
So
we
here's
mentioned
a real question.
Maybe
go ahead,
that's
Terry.
I was going to say, we mentioned song briefly, and I want to go back to that because I think that's really where things started to go haywire. Is that, I mean, because Mank was surprising winning cinematography, and that really made you start to question some things. But song is where things went haywire and went crazy, because going into that, there were really only three that you were thinking could win, and that was Speak Now, EOC, and Husavik was like the dark horse, quiet
That was your
song that
dark
could get up.
horse, Terry. But did anyone really think that was your dark horse? Did anyone really think that? Because you were
A
big
lot of
on
people
that.
did.
A lot of people thought that
the betting odds had that down to like almost even odds by the time the ceremony started, and Speak Now was at like minus 130. Like it was super close between Husavik and Speak Now.
and
But
I think there were
the
and I
fight
think there
for
were
you was like fourth, and that was like 12-1. Like there was almost no shot.
well, and no one. I mean, Chicago 7 had no shot. Like everyone was saying, "Oh, Chicago 7's getting
That's
shut
a
out
terrible
unless it
song.
wins picture." And like, song hasn't been announced yet. I mean, it could still win song, but there were narratives for all the other ones too. I mean, you had Speak Now, which could have gotten Leslie Odom Jr., the double nominee, get him in there. You could have had Diane Warren finally win her Oscar, or the crowd favorite, the popular one in Husavik.
Yeah.
And instead you go with Judas and the Black Messiah. It just didn't make any sense.
I thought Judas had a shot to win at that point.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Real quick, we did get a comment. We got guy. His name sucked. I'm glad Anthony Hopkins won, even though I was rooting for others to win. The father performance was his best since Silence of the Lambs.
That's
I
fair.
don't know. Did you see him in Bad Company? I mean, he was pretty amazing in that movie.
Transformers last night. There we go.
Oh God, who could forget? Or Thor. I mean, come on. We're talking
Okay,
about a great
hold up.
filmography here.
Don't mess up. Don't say.
he's had several nominations since '91, Zach.
Yeah.
He's had multiple Merchant Ivory movies, and Amistad.
And he
Nixon,
played sixth president, John Quincy Adams.
Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah.
I love that performance in that movie. Even my wife, who had no interest in watching The Father, I put it on and she was like, "That was really damn good." And yeah, we
Do you
both
think-
really liked it.
yeah.
He
Shout out to our
you think
ledge.
he
She and I
knows
are the
right
only
now?
ones that predicted Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Do you think
that's
Anthony
true.
Hopkins knows right now that he won?
No, he hasn't.
He probably got a call. He probably got a call.
It's like what 6 a.m. there or something. I mean, he's not awake yet. I bet.
or either that or he's just getting back to the flat to after a night of partying.
Yeah.
He
And
left
that's
his
because
flat.
it's a Sunday night. That's why he's partying. It's not because it's the Oscars. Right?
Well, he
I'm
has
just
been in
returning
his
to my
flat
flat.
he's been in his flat for some time.
Yeah, exactly.
So okay, what's Anthony Hopkins' greatest performance? Is it still Hannibal Lecter or is it The Father?
No, I keep saying it's The Father. The Father's the best thing I've ever seen him do. Better than The Lion in Winter and better than Sounds of the Lambs.
Wow.
I mean, it's close.
It's tough because he has a more experience as Hannibal Lecter because if you consider Red Dragon and Hannibal. But damn, The Father. I don't know. I think the Father is probably my favorite. If I'm just going for like the performance itself, there's so many different layers and it's dynamic. It's not just like one kind of tone, even though there's like there's some evilness behind the Hannibal Lecter performance, but there's so many more different layers to peel back with The Father. And yeah, I think The Father for me, I would agree with Todd. Best performance for him that I've seen anyway.
I think Hannibal Lecter will go down as his more iconic performance.
Absolutely.
And that will be what he's remembered for the most. But I agree. The argument can definitely be made that The Father was a better performance.
Is there a bigger interval between first and second win for anybody?
Ooh, good question.
Other than Katharine Hepburn. I mean, it would have hers was like 35 years in between, but this is 30 years.
It wasn't that long because she had between On Golden Pond and Guess Who's Stepping Into
No. Her first one was for in the 30s.
Woman of the Year.
No,
something.
it wasn't Women of the Year. Morning Glory in like 35 or something, and then she won for 60 in 67. But
All
like,
right, I'm looking this up.
I think for male nominee, I think that this has to be the biggest time interval between wins.
So what? Yeah, 29 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other one, like Jack Lemmon, was about 20 years. I can't really even think of anyone else.
All right. So yeah, her first win was at the 1934 Oscars, and her second win was at the 1968 Oscars. So
Yeah.
that was 34 years.
Yeah. Still a good
But
chunk
yeah.
of time.
Yeah, and I like you said, I can't even think of anyone that would even span, especially both lead. I mean, once you get a little further along like that.
Well, Julie Christie was almost very nearly did that. It was like going to be almost 40 years, right?
Oh, and she almost
But
went
she didn't
away
win
from her.
though.
Yeah, I mean that was going to be like a record.
Oh, I thought you were talking about what was that one that she did in 97?
Afterglow.
Afterglow, yeah.
Well, no, she was supposed to win for Away from Her, but she had won for Darling in 1965. I know. I remember hearing that was going to be a record, but.
Okay, so I had another question I wanted to ask. This goes back a little bit to what we were talking about earlier. What is the most Oscars a movie can now win at a single ceremony? We're never going to have the days of Lord of the Rings and Titanic ever again, right? I mean, this is just the way that it is set up in the voting and the structure now. Can any film win 6 Oscars anymore?
Well, how many?
What do you think about
Mad Max at 5, right? Mad Max at 5 without winning picture, which is pretty big. And I think Birdman won what, 4 or 5? 5? I think it won 5.
And do you like that?
Did the artist have 7? No, the Hurt Locker had
6. Hurt Locker had 6.
Okay, so I mean, so that's probably been the most that we've had in a while.
But
this is even worse. Like 05, there were 4 movies that had 3 wins. This year there was I think there were 7 that had 2, and 1 that had 6 that had 2, and then 1 that had 3.
Slumdog had 8 in 08, and that's by far the most.
The voting changed.
Yeah, that's by far the most of any film.
Yeah, so since preferential ballot. But Hurt Locker was the first one after the voting changed. And it won 6.
Yeah, so do you guys like that change? I mean, I kind of like when, a film like Amadeus just kicks ass. It's like, there is no question this was the best movie of the year. Of course, it has to be a movie I like, but...
How many Oscars did that win?
I had 9, I think.
Wow. Jeez.
Last Emperor also won 9.
It won 8.
8, whatever.
Well, I mean, then you got like Cabaret that won 8 or 9 and didn't even win.
Didn't win Best Picture. That has the record for most without winning Best Picture. I think
that's got a better chance of happening now than a movie sweeping, because the movie that wins Best Picture is not the movie that is the technical marvel anymore.
I gotta just say, I'm a little pissed that Mank won cinematography, and it's not just because I didn't like Mank, perfect. But like.
Thank you, Joey. Exactly. Continue your disaster thought about Mank there, Zach.
I'm just saying, like, okay, first of all, on our pod last week, I told you I was excited for Joshua James's speech. Mm-hmm. I didn't know why. I feel like that guy's got something to say, and we'll never get to know what that was. And it's bullshit, cheap to win a movie for just because it's in black and white. Give me a break. And then, like,
you need to watch the movie again. Mank is pretty good.
Oh, I'm sure. It's competent. It's fine. But like Nomadland, that movie is all about the cinematography. Like, if there's one thing you're going to take away from it, it's not going to be Frances McDormand. It's not going to be the screenplay. It's not going to be the editing. It's going to be the freaking cinematography in that movie. Like, that is the best part of that movie.
Yeah. How much do you think in her quick little speech as Best Picture, go see this on the big screen, go see, because it's the cinematography. I thought that was maybe a slight dig, because you can only see Mank on the small screen. That was a shocking. I kind of tossed my phone on the couch. I was like, "What the heck just happened?" Mank
paid off by the studios. There, got to bring people back to the theaters. Hire Fern as your spokesperson, and have everybody come back. I like that she called her Fern, by the way, and then Frances had to correct her.
Fran, yeah.
I was like,
so those back-to-back wins for Mank, and then that they still had score to come, which their score writers actually won. There was a chance that Mank was still in the race for Best Picture or having the most wins on the night.
And Zendaya threw me off when she read the winner for score because she read the names first, and you didn't know until she got through. She said Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, and John Batiste. It's like, good.
I know.
Good.
Yeah,
There's a third man. Thank
I was
goodness.
definitely like, like when that was going on.
Thank God for a third name. That's all I can say.
Looks like we got another comment about the end.
Yeah, there we go from Joey. Again, I wouldn't be so upset if that wasn't the last award. We were just talking about that earlier, Joey. I think that they had no idea. I think they were kind of assuming that it would have been a Chadwick to give him the nice send-off. But I think Best Picture should always be the last award. That's my personal.
And again, you can't think that they knew. You can't think that they knew, and they were going to end with whatever BS Joaquin Phoenix was going to say up there presenting, which was just, I mean, it was what to expect from Joaquin, which again is another reason why it was stupid that they switched it up. That should have been Renee Zellweger presenting that, because she would have done it with dignity and class. And then,
ouch, Terry firing shots at Joaquin,
and I think Joaquin would agree with that. He's like, yeah, I didn't, because I don't understand what the point is.
I know my role.
And then you end with the winner that isn't there, that isn't anywhere, that is, on some secluded island potentially somewhere, just partying it up. I mean, why you end with the Joaquin is Joaquin. I agree, Joey. You end with the award where the two people who could win are not there. And I get the whole thing with Chadwick, but I mean, you're not, the last thing you're going to hear from is not a winner. You're guaranteeing that by doing that.
Yeah. It's the best movie. We're there to see what the best of the best movie is. And it's just so weird that they decided to go third. That's why I was.
Well, they ended with the best movie, at least. We all know that.
Good. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, I texted Zach too. I was like, it's kind of weird that it's directors so early. And it's like, well, they've done it before. And it's weird how they shuffled the lineup of the traditional kind of lineup that we're kind of accustomed to see. They definitely changed it a little bit.
Well, and I texted Todd and Zach a conspiracy theory I saw on Twitter. And I think it was from Cody Derricks, who's a member of the Next Best Picture team. They tweeted out a conspiracy theory that the reason they announced Best Director so early is so that ABC/Disney later on in the broadcast could give break a trailer for the Eternals and say Oscar winner Chloe Zhao, because it happened after the award was given out. But then it didn't end up happening. So
that's not a conspiracy theory. That's
going to happen.
But it did. But it didn't happen. Like it didn't materialize that way. So
listen, like they didn't know if they're going to say 2 or 3 time or 4 time Oscar winner Chloe Zhao.
It's so it's kind of good that movie got postponed from last year then, because then they have all this like, we could put the best director on tag it for the November release or whatever it's coming out this year. Yeah.
I have an even better conspiracy theory that I texted Todd. It makes me feel sad to say it, but you got to think with how pre-planned everything was with this ceremony, seemingly, especially with all the plugins and ties and Questlove's trailer. I mean, give me a break. I feel like Glenn Close knew that question was coming. I mean,
yeah, she knew way too much about that.
Like,
there's no way she knew that
was coming. Like,
there's no way. No way.
I don't know. I think
knew that it came from School Days.
It was 1988. Like, I would like to believe, Terry,
I mean, she
but
probably was there.
Lil Rel isn't that good of an actor. I mean, come on.
That's a good point.
Hey, in the Best Picture nominated movie for the second time.
That's true. That's true. His banter with Kaluuya was pretty awesome.
Oh, they were awesome on the red carpet too. They're like,
yes.
They're like, dude, like I haven't seen you. And then Kaluuya's like, remember that the last time was at that one bar, and he's like, oh shit, you remember that? Like, yeah, there was. Like, you have I mean.
Here we go.
Howery, like the casting by Soderbergh of this event was awesome.
Here we go. There
No,
goes.
there's no way. There's no way.
Not the dance,
Definitely
though.
practice the answer.
It-
Not the
as
dance.
soon as she gave Kalia crap for the Donna Summer song, I was like, oh. As soon as they went to her, it's like whatever you throw her way, she's gonna know it because she knows her stuff. Now, I sent out a tweet right after all that happened, and it just simply read, Glenn Close may not ever win an Oscar, but she just won the Oscars.
That's what they wanted you to send out, Terry. You
I know.
did
I don't
Steven
really-
Soderbergh's job.
There's no way.
Now,
There's no way.
I
We never
believe that
saw
Andra
Soderbergh.
Day was
that surprised me.
Andra Day. I felt like that was a fairly genuine moment, but like even then, as he's walking across, like you had to know where everybody was standing. I don't know. I just in the moment, you're right, it was cool, but like thinking back on it, especially when Questlove is plugging his stuff, and then he got the West Side Story trailer. Everything was that's the biggest criticism I have at this ceremony. Everything was so programmed and pre-planned down to the inch, and obviously it backfired because everybody assumed Chadwick was going to win, but like. No spontaneity.
So it worked. It was a twist
Well, yeah.
ending. It was like a Shyamalan movie instead of a Soderbergh movie. One thing, okay, so we never saw the Price Waterhouse guy, but
Thank goodness.
is it just me, or was like were the cards like they were like yellow, right? And you could totally read what they were going to deliver before they even started talking. And I noticed that from the very first time. Like when Regina King was up there, I was like, they're doing original screenplay? Like, and before she even started talking, I was like, what the?
Well, here's my conspiracy theory. If you watch, Joaquin Phoenix's envelope is already open before he started talking. He already knew who was going to win, and so he gave a I don't give a crap introduction.
Before
because no one else is going to give a crap.
He opened it and he looked. He's like, oh wait, I'm not supposed to read the nominees off this thing.
And he went, oh crap, Chadwick didn't win. All right, well screw it. Whatever. It's the award. Read off the nominees.
Yeah,
I think that's what happened.
Got a couple other smaller comments. YouTuber Ryan O'Toole is here. All I have to say is, wow to that. That's show. And then Joey again. I think the ceremony started strong, but the trivia game happened. Yeah, I kind of like that moment though. The butt. I want that gift.
I like the trivia game. It was something different because it.
Not when the show's running long though. I mean that makes it a little weird because they were speeding up everything and then they have this 7-minute long little thing with Laura Howery. It was kind of odd.
It was not Soderbergh's idea. It was like Stacey Shure saying, you know what, we gotta pop this up a little bit. Steven's like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll give you that. I'll give you the trivia, but we're not doing any other.
It's like Questlove, do the music, and then you could show your trailer and do what you want to do with like a segment.
Okay. And then we'll cut the video clips of all the movie clips other than 3 awards, and then we'll cut down the songs so we can at least have some extra runtime for this trivia. Maybe.
Well, they showed that they performed all the songs before the show.
Which they announced plenty in advance, so that's
which is a cool way to do it. It was all within an hour of when the show started, so
that's smart. Then I can see that part.
That was pretty awesome.
And 4 of the 5 were performed on the rooftop of the new Academy Museum, which was pretty cool. And the other one was actually performed
Iceland.
In Husavik, Iceland. Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah. You kind of have to do that.
It was an amazing rendition too. Like that song really should have won. It was the best song of the 5.
After listening to those 5 performances, I would have said Husavik was the best song, and Speak Now was second. That was where I was at with them.
All right. So, what do you think about? I forgot what my question was, but. I'll think of it.
You can't cut that out in post-production. Yeah. This is live, Zach.
Okay. Screw it. Do it live.
Who is Josh Nix, and why is he winning our Oscar?
That's my buddy. That's my guy.
Hey, he just
all right.
Too.
There we go. And shout out to Josh. He won apparently, but I gotta say he probably just went and looked at the odds we were looking at and just went with that because he never wins this thing. He knows nothing about the movies.
He won. He didn't pick all favorites. He picked The Father, and he picked Husavik. Or he picked The Father for a screenplay and picked Husavik, and he picked Viola Davis. He did not go chalk. And he only missed 4. So I mean, that's really impressive.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I mean, he
missed 4.
he never
He got Colette right.
does well.
Yeah,
I
Colette.
love the guy. He knows nothing about the Oscars.
Listen, I didn't know Colette was about the Holocaust. If I had known that, that would have gotten my vote.
Yeah, I was going between that
I
one
didn't get
and
to
the one
watch that one. I
picked.
tried to bang through them today. I watched 7 shorts and I didn't get to Colette. But I mean,
I thought
Well,
Colette was about the writer, but that was a movie a few years ago.
That was a movie. Yeah,
yeah.
In the
But-
shorts, you always if there's a long, fascinating title, you go with that. And so, how
True.
did a concerto as a conversation not win?
And
Well,
those
it's
filmmakers
about-
were on
about
Good
the-
Morning America. They were like doing a press tour. Like, I don't know. There's something suspicious. I'm sorry, Todd. Go ahead.
Composer from Green Book and produced by Ava DuVernay. Like, I mean, a concerto is a conversation, and it was the best one that I saw of the 3. I didn't see Colette, obviously, but I mean, I thought concerto was going to win the thing.
All right, Todd, tell us your thoughts on Two Distant Strangers.
Oh, it's like it is the worst movie that's ever won an Oscar. Like, it is.
Whoa! Didn't Dr. Dolittle win an Oscar?
What? Like the
1967?
Oh, I mean, well, yeah, but that was the best.
Didn't
picture
Norbit
nominee,
win?
right?
No, Norbit was nominated.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Suicide Squad
Suicide
won an
Squad.
Oscar. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worse than that. I mean, The Two Distant Strangers is terrible.
Oh, Tony Collette.
There we go.
Now
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would have been interesting.
I saw a trailer
I love
for a
it,
new
Doug.
movie with Tony Collette where she's a horse racer. Has anyone seen that
Oh,
Yeah,
trailer?
I've seen that.
Collette.
I've seen that
Tony
trailer. Her
Collette.
and Damian Lewis.
Yeah.
She just had a
looks-
new movie come out on Netflix this weekend too, called Stowaway. I'm pretty sure that was she was in
right.
that. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Another space movie.
Two Distant. Go ahead. That crappy Distant Strangers movie. We'll talk about it, Todd.
There's no
What
way
do you want
that's
me
the
to say?
worst.
Like, I mean,
There's no way it's the worst movie to ever win an Oscar. That's just not possible. It couldn't be, and I haven't seen it, but it's just not possible.
Well, I mean, it's a short, so
Yeah,
movie.
and it pulls like the whole time loop thing, just like, and it was written like a month after Palm Springs came out, so it wasn't even that original at that point. But I mean, it does this like stupid police brutality kind of thing, but it does it in a way that is completely offensive and unfair, and it's just a terrible, disgusting movie. It is what is everything that is wrong with like people that are trying to make like hot topic movies.
Yeah,
I seriously 0 stars. I give it 0 stars.
I saw someone post a picture of like there's like a guy who got shot and there's a pool of blood in the shape of Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, the LA
Yeah.
Times just put their headline was that focused on the controversy around the movie and the idea of black torture porn, and yeah, it sounded a lot less appetizing after reading a synopsis of it. But it's done by The Ringer. That's interesting.
Yeah, like Van Lathan's like the main producer of it. But I mean, the cop in it is cool. He's from Limitless, and he's like a really funny like actor kind of. But I mean, he's just sort of like a disgusting human being in it because that's what they want you to think. It's a terrible movie. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I really thought Netflix was going to sweep the shorts though, and then somehow
I was hoping.
a love
I was
song for
definitely
Natasha
hoping.
lost.
Okay,
no.
let's spend a little bit of time we have on the most competitive category of the night. We've talked about it a little bit, but Frances McDormand pulls out Best Actress. And we knew when they gave picture early, we knew it was because everyone knew this was completely up in the air and anybody could win. So nobody on our Oscar challenge predicted Frances McDormand. Even though I mean
One of two categories that nobody got right?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
amazing.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that
nobody got
was-
cinematography right.
Yeah.
So McDormand won the BAFTA, but nobody thought that meant anything because she wasn't up against any of the other major contenders. Todd, you kind of thought you had this whole thing pegged. What are your thoughts on Frances winning, or what are just the race in general, how it played out?
I mean, I never knew what was really going to happen. I knew Carey Mulligan was not going to win, and I've been saying that for months, even though she's always been the favorite. I predicted Viola Davis, but I was never confident in it. I thought Andra Day, she never competed necessarily against the other nominees other than the Golden Globes where she won. So I thought she had an outside chance, but her movie is just not that well liked. Frances McDormand winning is just strange. I can't remember the last time somebody who just rode with their Best Picture winner to an Oscar win for the leading category that easily since
Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh, sorry.
Okay, yeah. So Gwyneth Paltrow and Jean Dujardin are the only two that I could really think of. But
Yeah,
I
that's a good
mean,
point.
it does not happen very often, and especially for someone who's won twice. And I mean, that's going to be one of the more odd wins to look back on, like especially when you look at, I mean, like Andra Day acts her ass off in United States for this Philly holiday, and Carey Mulligan has a really like flashy movie that she's in, and Frances McDormand doesn't, but she's the winner, and that's going to be. In 15 years, you look back on this race. I don't know that people are going to look back on that as being a great Oscar win.
Yeah, no, it was kind of shocking. I wasn't. Yeah.
Well, they had to give it more than 2 Oscars, right? And they're not going to give it cinematography. They're not going to give it editing. They're not going to give it screenplay. Okay, so what manifests out of that movie that people remember? Well, Frances McDormand, right?
She is the movie, yeah.
Cinematography is the movie. Like, I mean, they don't plan that out how they vote. It's not like they have there's no collusion between like the 20,000 Oscar voters, right?
That's what they want you to think.
Now, Todd, I think you gave a stat last week that said that this is the first time, is it ever, or first time since when, that the Golden Globe winner did not win the Oscar?
It was the first time since 2001. Because I think Sissy Spacek and Nicole Kidman won the Golden Globes, and Halle Berry won the Oscar.
But what made this one crazy is you had Andra Day, who wasn't involved in much of the other races, and Rosamund Pike, who was never a part of this.
Yeah, I mean, Andra Day was nominated at the Critics' Choice, but like I assume the critics were just like, I mean, we didn't see this movie till after we did all our voting for our own critic organizations. We're just going with what we did before. So I think that's why Andra Day probably didn't win that. That's why, I mean, I thought there was still a decent shot that Andra Day was going to come out with the Oscar, but...
I don't know. A thought just occurred to me. Is this year the oldest, like, cumulative of the 4 winners? I mean, Kaluuya obviously isn't that old, but the other 3 are, like, legitimately old people. Like, the 81 Oscars had a bunch of old people win, like Henry Fonda, but this has to be the second oldest, like, cumulative age of the winners, right?
Well, who won supporting actor in 81?
Someone old. Oh, John Gielgud. So John Gielgud.
Oh yes, he was really old.
He was old. And then Maureen Stapleton for Reds. All old people.
Yeah. That's a good call.
That is a good call.
Yes, I agree. Ray.
I was hoping that Vanessa Kirby would pull a Marcia Gay Harden.
Marcia.
Yeah.
Marcia Gay Harden.
Marcia.
Don't talk like that in wine country.
Sorry.
I've been championing Vanessa Kirby all award season, and yeah, Marcia Gay Harden was probably the last one that just had almost no other nominations and then came out with an Oscar win. That would have been beautiful if she would have somehow won that thing.
I love Vanessa Kirby in that movie, man. That's one of my favorite performances of last year, and Piece of the Woman, this solidified it in my top 10 too, because of her. She's fantastic. I would not be an Oscar
eventually.
And it was such a competitive category, and everyone agreed that all 5 in there were so deserving that I mean, it would have made sense if she would have pulled it out and everyone would have won something. But
I just think Davis should have been in supporting, but deserving to be nominated for sure, though.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So did you like this format overall? Like, we're going to go back next year and hopefully COVID will subside at some point. Are they going to go back to the bullshit or are we going to keep it this way? Like, what do you think? Like, I mean, I think on a whole, I liked it, but I do have to say I kind of miss some of the, like, I miss talking into the camera, and I miss like the clips. They didn't show any clips at the beginning, which is like, where was Kaluuya's clip? Where was Yoo Jung-yoon? I mean, I wanted to see, we even talked about that on the podcast. What's the clip they're going to show? And they never did it. Like, that was kind of sad.
Yeah, I was looking forward to the nurse sequence with Carey Mulligan and Promising Young Woman, and just like I was missing those things too. It just seemed weird. It seemed like it flew by though. The in memoriam scene went crazy fast.
Oh, and you could tell they were trying to get as many names in that in memoriam video as possible.
Yeah. Like let's tell now, Jerry Stiller was in that thing. I mean,
DMX was in it.
Yeah.
Terry's guy from that documentary from last year. Do you remember the art director dude from the documentary, Lillian and what's his name?
Oh, wait, what?
Wait,
what was that
maybe.
movie you made me watch? Lillian and Frankie or something?
Oh,
Wait, or maybe I'm messing this up. Never mind.
Oh,
Edit that
it was-
out.
You probably reviewed it
we're
last year.
live, you moron.
Well, I thought the guy in that movie was on the in memoriam, but now I'm thinking about it. I
No,
think
he was already dead.
Yeah, I think.
He was
Okay,
dead when
never
the
mind.
movie came out. I'm trying to remember what the
'Cause it said-
Harold
it said-
and Lillian.
It
Harold
said,
and Lillian.
it said art director. Now, how many art directors really get in memoriam, especially ones that you've never heard of? So I thought, oh, it must be because of that documentary that Terry liked. Terry's been able, our pot. Never mind. Stupid point.
Anyway, yeah.
Did you like the ceremony? Would you do it again? Oh.
Fastest in memoriam ever. It was unreal, and the song choice was baffling.
I agree.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, it was
I
also. It was.
I
also
didn't mind the song choice, but I will say that I didn't mind the song choice because it was still like reflective, even though it was a little more upbeat. But it allowed for the pace of it to move faster, and I don't think it was necessarily. It just felt fast and short because of the song. But they've got through more people than they've ever gotten through in the in memoriam before.
Well, they didn't
So
show
many
like
people.
anything in the background or anything about what these people were from. They just said like whoever it was, and there was like film editor or something. It didn't show like what they edited at any point.
Or a
Yeah.
clip.
Like, it
or
really
anything
was
like
just
that.
whipping through names. They probably got through more names than they ever have in like the shortest amount of time.
So can we just talk about the music for a second? Also, like, okay, Questlove, all due respect, it's great that he pushed his stuff, but like playing 9 to 5 after the Soul guy gave that heartfelt speech, it's like, what? And then playing R&B music when the Mank people won, it's like, oh yeah, Mank was really big R&B type movie. Like, yeah, that's really appropriate. But like, I don't know, like that's
Yeah, they also played a Pulp Fiction song like while the other Mank win. I think like I was like, oh, yeah, it was really.
Oh yeah,
random.
it was like the Coming Soon trailer music, right? Da 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 da. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I caught that too.
I can get copyright. Anyway.
Good point.
Yeah, I agree. The music choices were a little weird, and it was when that's what you get when you have a DJ instead of an orchestra, I guess.
True. I agree with that point. If we're talking about songs, though, it totally was going to be Billie Eilish's year to win an Oscar for James Bond.
Oh,
But
for No Time to Die.
We'll wait till next year for that.
I
Early
really-
prediction.
I liked Pete Docter's speech. I thought his was a top 5 speech. I thought he got to the point. He thanked the right people. It moved along. It did what it needed to do. He's, I think, the best of the Pixar people to accept Oscars.
That
Agreed.
might be because might be the best of the Pixar people. I mean,
When he's the last of the original guys, pretty much, right? I mean, Andrew Stanton doesn't really work there anymore.
yeah,
No.
Brad Bird
Thanks.
is gone, I think.
Yeah, and Doctor is like he's like the president now, I think. So
Yeah, he's a genius, man. This is great movies.
All right, let's go back to Zach's point. I mean, what from this ceremony do we want to keep moving forward? What did you miss? What do you want to bring back? I will say, talking about the music, one thing that I thought was one of the coolest parts of last year's ceremony was when they did the like medley of the scores when they were presenting best score. And I realized that this was a COVID year, and you probably couldn't get a full orchestra together like that very easily, and that's why you went with the DJ. But that was one thing I loved that they didn't do that I want to get back to.
Yeah. I like you get an auxiliary cord, just plug into an iPhone, and you get the opening.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I mean, they've done remote orchestras before. They've done them. They're performing live across town, and we're gonna pipe it in.
Bryan Cranston was in the empty theater. They could have had the orchestra there.
That was one thing I will say I liked is bringing some of those honorary Oscars back into the ceremony instead of having them on a different night. I thought I liked that.
well, they didn't have a lifetime achievement type award at any point.
Or the science fiction one.
Zach, you prefer the 5-minute montage of here's the thing we did on a different night that nobody else cares about.
You always get like an up and coming young actress. You got like Florence Pugh, she's presenting. Let's present the highlights of yeah, I like that. I kind of miss that. And I got to say, I mean, look, mad props to Tyler Perry. Okay. He fed his people. They had a big Thanksgiving celebration. Did we really need to see that? I mean, was that really, I mean, I think a lot of people sacrificed during the pandemic, but like, really? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hater, but like, I think I would have preferred a longer Frances McDormand acceptance speech. I think I would have sacrificed that. Or more scenes of Daniel Kaluuya from the movie he won an Oscar for, which we didn't even see any scenes from. And he was incredible. I mean, we can all agree that was a worthwhile Oscar win. We never saw any scenes from the movie.
Yeah, I will say that was one of the downsides is not having those clips.
Yeah, the clips from
don't mess with the tradition of the acting categories.
And then the guy
we borderline had like betting odds last week about which Carey Mulligan scene they were going to show because there aren't any to really show.
Well, maybe it's because there were no good Frances McDormand scenes either. I mean, they had the one moment from when they were announcing the Best Picture, but it would have been hard to pick from her movie. I also got to say, the Bryan Cranston dude, his speech ran way too long. Come on, man, get off the stage. Like, doing great humanitarian work for people with dementia, but like, what does that have to do with this ceremony? Except that the father is about someone with dementia, I guess. But like, I'm sorry, we got to move this along here. I'm sure Steven was thinking the same thing. He's like, come on, we got to hit our mark here. Let's go.
We need to get Army Hammer with a hot dog cannon. Again, that's what we need. Blast those people off the stage. Your speech is too long. It's going.
Or do the thing where Jimmy Kimmel says, "I'll give you a free motorboat." Right? Wasn't that a few years ago? Make it a competition.
Ray Yazzie. Be kind of cool if they added a Rising Star Award to the BAFTA, like the BAFTA. Similar to the BAFTA. Sorry.
They used to do that in like the 30s and 40s. Like, Shirley Temple would win, or like Judy Garland, or
that would be like
Shirley
an
Temple won that
honorary
thing like 5 times.
Yeah.
Jackie Cooper.
It wouldn't be an official Oscar,
Jackie Coogan. Yeah, it was like a mini statuette. It was like small.
That's usually what mini means.
All right, so if they'd given a Rising Star Oscar this year, who would have gotten it? Vanessa Kirby? Alan Kim?
I mean, she would have been on the list.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the BAFTAs had a bunch of people that I hadn't heard of, but like I was looking back on their awards that they've done for the last like decade, and they're all like big names now. So I mean, it would be someone that would be more like an Alan Kim, I guess, or something like that. Like less than a person that was the star of a movie this year.
But do the BAFTAs look
Dominique Fishback? I mean, she was even mentioned tonight. Her name came up.
I mean,
when the BAFTAs give that award, do they give it like with a specific performance in mind, or do they give it? They just give it a look out for this person coming up. Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, but I mean, they'll have like a movie or a TV show that they were in that year, and then there'll be the Rising Star Award. But I mean, seriously, like they're all big stars that have won or been nominated for that award recently.
So when you were making fun of my mini thing, I thought, oh shit, they forgot to say Vern Troyer died, but he died 3 years ago. I looked that up just to make sure. I thought, oh damn, they really missed him because didn't he just die? But I got that wrong.
I did say mini mean. Pretty close.
Oh man,
Zach, what are you?
I got
drinking?
voted out.
This is going downhill quick.
You told me to not drink water. This is what happens. Todd was getting on my case.
Hey, I'm drinking champagne.
The Starbucks cup.
Space dust. There we go. I got it. I'm good.
What are you drinking, Zach? Where's your drink?
It's gone. That's why I was late to the podcast. I had to get my shirt had stains on it. I was a mess. Yeah, I really needed to put myself together. I was like Krasny from Nomadland, or whatever the one name actress, Mizzy. I had to get my shit in order.
I'm drinking Irish Death.
There you go. Nice.
Talk about Swanky.
Swanky, that's it.
There we go.
Swanky. I mean, Swanky needed to get her life together. Her name was brought up at the ceremony too, was it not? Or did I make that up?
She was at the ceremony.
Yeah, she was there.
Really?
She was there.
Wow.
She walked on stage.
Yeah, she was like Chloe's date, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
My
However-
favorite short was called "Feeling Through," and the guy, the blind deaf guy, was there, and I saw him because they were doing like sign language right in front of him. I was like, "Oh, that's that guy. I just watched him earlier today."
I couldn't tell if they were signing for him or Marley Matlin for a little while, and then I saw that Marley Matlin was not at that table. So it wasn't.
How about Marley Matlin calling out the young woman who had shot the George Floyd footage? I was like, Marley Matlin maybe won the ceremony for that. That was an awesome moment. I actually got up and applauded that moment. That was amazing.
Oh, okay,
Mark
but
Johnson,
here's this is the biggest gaffe by Soderbergh's production team on the entire night. You invite someone on to present an award and sign, and then you don't leave her on screen when she's reading the nominees, so all you have is the interpreter's voice. I mean, really?
She mouthed it.
Yeah, but she wasn't on screen. Like they were doing the camera around the room, showing everybody, and it's like, well, I mean, we're here to.
Big
Well,
deal.
is this similar to Bong? Like not, like speaking. He's speaking in Korean. Like we know he's a hilarious American speaker. Like I'm gonna drink till next morning. We mentioned that recently. Like I mean, I wanted to see him
We should mention
present
that
the
every
award like
time.
that.
Someone copied his. Did you see that someone copied his speech from last year when he said, "I'm going to Texas chainsaw this award in 5 ways"? Someone said that, and I think it was the Manx cinematographer guy. He's like, "I'm going to cut this up 5 ways." I'm like, dude, you're plagiarizing from the man, Bong Joon-ho.
Well,
You can't do that.
The first time I heard that was when Colin Farrell won his Golden Globe for In Bruges. He said, he said he's gonna like cut this in half and share it with Brendan because it's not really mine or something.
Can I
Right,
talk about another? Oh, go ahead.
I have the list of BAFTA Rising Star winners here.
Okay.
The award started in 2006, and in 2006 it was James McAvoy. 2007 Eva Green. 2008 Shia LaBeouf. 2009 Noel Clark.
What?
I don't
He's not even
know.
British.
Well, yeah, no, they don't
2010
have to be British, but he's like one of the only non-British winners, I'm pretty sure.
2010 Kristen Stewart. 2011 Tom Hardy. 2012 Adam Deacon,
Who?
which is interesting because he beat Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, and Eddie Redmayne, and Chris O'Dowd. 2013 Juno Temple. 2014 Will Poulter. 2015 Jack O'Connell. 2016 John Boyega. Then Tom Holland, Daniel Kaluuya, Letitia Wright, Michael Ward won it last year.
That's the guy from Blue Story, just FYI.
Oh,
Okay.
Right.
Beat Aquafina and Kelvin Harrison Jr. And then this year was Bucky Bacrae.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the girl from Rocks.
Rocks, yeah.
So
See what I mean? Like that's a pretty legit list of people that they nailed before they were stars.
Juno Temple was a little late. She was big. What, like 2013? She was big like 5 years before that.
She was never big. She's still not big.
She wasn't she in Atonement and a bunch of other movies?
No,
Like
she was not in Atonement.
wasn't she?
What?
Juno
No.
Temple? No. She would have been too young. She's in Ted Lasso.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Wait,
she was
she's
in
totally
Atonement.
in Atonement.
Thank you. Screw both of you. Come on, man. Gotta get something here.
Whatever.
She's like the little
Yeah, she's
little one. She's the one that Bryony
Ronan's friend.
orders around at the house, I think.
No, it's the other way around. She orders the Saoirse Ronan character around.
She was never big.
I think she was big, and she was in the movie. She was in Killer Joe. She was awesome in Killer Joe with THC and Matthew McConaughey. She's great in that movie.
Yeah, I mean that was like what 2011.
11, yeah. We gotta deep dive that movie sometime.
She was in Notes on a Scandal too.
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
never seen
thank
Killer
you.
Joe.
You are proving my point, Terry. Thank you. Okay, can I ask another question that I texted Todd, but we didn't get any good answers for? Okay, so first award of the night, screenplay, or one of the first awards. I can't remember. So they give it to Florian Zeller, whatever, and he's holding an Oscar. Where did he get the Oscar from?
Yeah, that's a great question. The only thing I can think of is they had to have like a couple Oscars sitting in all those remote locations. Like there were a few locations where there were a lot of people at. So because he was the
only two. There was
in
New York and London. I think were the only two that had like a viewing party thing.
Right,
Well,
but he
everyone
wasn't
else-
the only one that stood on that terrace in Paris and got the award.
Yeah. Well,
to
that's
get
why I think it
recognized.
was like a replica or something, just in case someone won. But I don't think that's his actual Oscar.
It looked pretty authentic to me. Maybe it was one of those Oscars that they sold back, like those players in the 30 for 30 broke. Like, you sell back your shit, you sell back your Oscar because you're broke, and then maybe this is how they actually found a purpose for them.
It's like what David Price just did with his World Series ring. He auctioned it off for charity.
Oh, I did hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
go ahead.
Oscars.
Oscars.
Can I say the most Soderbergh moment of the night was the opening sequence of Regina King grabbing the Oscar and walking into the station. I mean, that was the most Soderbergh thing ever.
Grabbing the torch and starting the parade.
Did you guys see
when I saw her that she was actually there? I thought she was going to be presenting Best Picture, and I didn't even know Jane Fonda was there. I don't think her name was in the opening credits. I don't think I saw Rita Moreno. That was my second guess, but I don't think she was there. I don't think they ever showed her. Did they?
I don't know.
They
didn't. I thought it was getting Harrison Ford. I thought was a good bet too. However, him pulling out the critiques of Blade Runner was pretty great.
Yeah,
yes, that was. Blade Runner.
Can you think of the one Best Picture winner that Harrison Ford has read, to my knowledge? Do you know, Todd?
I don't remember one.
I'm quite sure.
Best Picture winner that what? That he was in?
He announced. No, that he announced.
That he announced.
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess it was like Unforgiven or something.
No, I'm quite sure it was Shakespeare in Love. I'm like 99.9% sure he announced that.
Yeah, I kind of remember that now. I have a feeling.
All right, we're looking this up.
But so the whole here's another thing. I mean, I've mentioned this already, but the whole cross promotion thing, Rita Moreno there, the West Side Story trailer. I mean, my goodness, like how much more cross promotion do we really need? Like, I mean, I don't know. I got tired of that. They never what?
They never showed her though, right?
I feel like the whole reason she was there was just to promote West Side Story.
No, but they never showed her. Her name was on the opening credits. That was it.
Who?
Rita Moreno.
No, she read Best Picture.
Read the Best Picture. Where were you, man?
Honestly, I thought that was Jane Fonda.
She did it last year, dude.
I know, but I mean,
rid of Todd, Adam. Take it around the horn. You got voted off.
5-minute timeout. Okay, you're back.
That's why you didn't mention that because I was actually right the whole time.
Wow.
Honestly, she kind of looks like Jane Fonda.
Well, I mean, that's a somewhat fair thing to say, but I feel like Rita Moreno's name was prominently featured in every, and it was like it was a little weird because it was like you got Brad Pitt, okay, you got Joaquin Phoenix, you got Renee Zellweger, all the usual suspects, and then Rita Moreno. So it sticks out a little bit, and then you see, they're going to drop the West Side Story trailer. It makes sense.
That was announced way before.
No, I mean, well, I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I found myself surprised though, because like when she was reading off those names of the Best Picture winners, I was like, God damn it. Nomadland just needs to win. Like, yeah, it would be fun for The Father to win. Of course, Sound of Metal's a great movie, but like, let's just get usually when there's chaos, it's like Green Book chaos, and that's not good chaos. So let's just have a good film win Best Picture and just kind of move on.
Okay, Zach, you were right. Harrison Ford read off Shakespeare in Love, but it wasn't the only Best Picture he announced.
Oh, okay.
He also announced, and the winner is Schindler's List. He announced Schindler's List too. That was a horrible.
That was 1 year off.
You were 1 year off. Apparently, Jack Nicholson's done it 7 times.
Can we name all those?
The French Connection. The French Connection was the first one he did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crash.
Was he like 30?
He did Crash.
The Departed.
He did The Departed with Diane Keaton.
And
he
with
did
Michelle Obama, Argo.
So actually, I missed
counts.
Argo. So that's 8. He did it 8 times.
8 times. Okay, don't say any of the others. Hold on.
Okay, so you've got Crash.
So,
you got The Departed.
why did
Argo.
Morgan Freeman say good night and good luck at the end of the 2005 Oscars if Jack was the one that read Best Picture? Because I remember he did say that. You remember that?
I know what you're talking about. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah. So we've got Crash. We've got The Departed. We've got Argo. I already told you his first one was The French Connection. So there's 4 more he did.
No, just I don't think they're. I think they're older. They're pre-1990 would be my guess.
He read Rocky. He announced Annie Hall. And then he announced Driving Miss Daisy along with Warren Beatty.
Weird.
Why would they be a group?
I don't know. There's some weird groups in here.
Oh, that's another thing I missed. Ceremony. What would no bizarre groups? No like Bjork and Questlove together, or like no Clive Owen and Olympia Dukakis. Like I miss the weird, awkward pairings. I mean, obviously COVID prevented that, but I hope that's something they can still do.
No, instead we had Riz Ahmed presenting Sound of Metal with Best Sound. I mean, what's going on with that?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I know you guys were saying that never happens. They did it multiple times today. That they're announcing something when their own movies in the category.
At least they don't do. At least they decided not to do any more of like James Franco hosting while he's nominated for Best Actor or something like that.
Or Seth MacFarlane when he's nominated too.
Well, that was for song. I mean, that's a little different than being nominated for Best Actor and having your movie up for Best Picture, and then you show up to the ceremony high.
and you see the thing about boobs.
Did you see the 10-year oral history of James Franco hosting the Oscars on? I think it was The Ringer that did it. It was a pretty hilarious article. But I had another question, which is, what did you guys think of the whole, like, let's give everybody's biography and their favorite movies thing? Because I got to say, I kind of found that fascinating. Like hearing about the Mank art director's favorite movie growing up, like that was kind of cool. Or that the art director, one of them was the boss of the other one, and another one was like a janitor. Like that shit's interesting. That's way more interesting than just having blank names on a screen.
That's cool, but the trade-off is clips from their movies.
No one cares about the technical words. Screw that.
Well, but we had to explain who the technical award people were, and because of that, we didn't have clips for the acting awards.
No, that's not true. I feel like you could have acting award like clips, but you could also. I liked the whole like the Mank production designer used to work as a custodian. Like that was cool, Or this kid when he was 12 years old, his favorite movie was Citizen Kane, and then everybody laughed. Like that was funny. More of that. I like that a lot. Like because these people you don't know who they are, and you really probably don't even realize what they do because their job doesn't make sense to most people. So I like the whole humanizing aspect of it.
Okay. That makes sense. I was just saying, like sometimes they do on those technical, they show like a little bit of like not a clip, but like little like images,
or like a diagram, or like a storyboard like or something.
Yeah, I actually kind of like what you're saying though. At the same time, maybe they should do
do both or something.
Maybe mix a mixture. But yeah, that Citizen Kane thing was a pretty funny moment.
I like that, but I also was thinking that now I lost it. Where was it? What was it? There's something else that I was going to say.
Don't worry, we'll edit this out.
I know we'll edit this out in the live post production. Oh gosh, never mind. I'll come back to it eventually.
So I think we got to do some awards here. Who wins biggest douche? Who wins stickman, MVP, LVP? Like.
Oh, I got stickman right here. I got stickman. Daniel Kaluuya's parents, man.
It's a beautiful thing. Celebrating life.
Celebrate life.
The best was the reaction of what must have been his sister when he said
The
that.
mom-
That was
The mom's sitting
Yeah.
right next to her. He's just like, what? What did
I
he
was like,
say?
what is he saying?
Well, Todd, you had a great comment on that too of why is Daniel Kaluuya there and Lakeith Stanfield is sitting with Daniel Kaluuya's family.
Yeah, I know. It seemed
Yeah, there's a
backwards.
story behind that. It has to be.
Pretty sure the key's from LA. I don't know. Why.
But Olivia Colman too was sitting up in the stands too. She didn't have a table. Olivia Colman.
She was in London though, I thought.
Oh, okay, that's a good.
She was in London.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Never disregard.
All right, what other ones did you have, Zach?
Oh, just our normal awards.
Our normal ones.
I mean, we
Highest
talked
score.
about how Glenn Close might have been the MVP tonight. If it truly wasn't staged, then sure, I think that validates her case. But I question that.
I felt that was 100% authentic.
I had another MVP. I was just thinking about. I can't remember though. I'll have to think about it. Who was it?
I don't know.
This is great YouTube space right
Soderbergh.
now. Soderbergh as MVP.
Okay,
I think he's. I mean,
Have we ever talked this much about the production of the Oscars?
Well, no,
No.
because it was never noticeable that much about how it was put together.
He
I mean,
definitely took it and went, all right, if we can't have a normal Oscars, let's have a crazy Oscars.
a
Yeah,
spectacular.
well, I mean, we're gonna do it completely unique. I mean, I remember there was one that was like the whole thing was like musicals and stuff. I think it was produced by Rob Marshall or something. But
oh god, yeah, I remember that year. That was terrible.
but I mean, this is something that is just like it's Soderbergh. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have
Hey,
expected anything different. And it was in a train station, and I thought it would
Yeah.
look kind of awesome.
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
pretty
I'm just thinking about 3 months from now. I'm gonna want to look back and relish in the. Want to look up Frances McDormand Oscar win. It's not gonna make for a great YouTube clip. It
Because
just
she's
it
not
feels
looking
weird.
at the camera, right? But
Right.
I like that they're not stuck behind a stand. They put their Oscar
True.
on the stand, and they're actually stuck there in front of a mic without a podium, and they have to talk. I think I kind of like that.
Or I will say it was kind of interesting that the presenters weren't looking into the camera though. Like we always get that shot of the teleprompter being right next to the camera, like always. And I know Soderbergh had said he wanted to make it feel more theatrical, and I guess that means not breaking that fourth wall as little as possible.
My MVP is going to go to Marlee Matlin because I thought it was cool that she gave a shout out. But also, I like that because when I saw her name, I'm like, oh, great, best sound. Another year where she presents best sound. It's kind of like the Office episode when they do the Dundies and it's like, oh, he's going to give Pam, longest engagement again. But they didn't do that. She actually did the documentary awards. I thought she kind of kicked ass. So I'm down with Marlee Matlin.
Okay, I remembered what I was going to say before. One thing I kind of missed was how they would do a little presentation intro of every Best Picture nominee. Just give a little. This is what it's about.
That did save some time though.
Throw that out.
Was about a minute and a half of
Steven
each.
didn't like that.
Throw
it out.
8 times. But yeah, I mean, they did, but that just is more of a production that we didn't have the clips that we wanted.
Yeah.
They could have had more of an extended clip before each movie since they didn't do that, but they didn't because they didn't have any time.
I think that going back, the thing that gives your point credibility, Terry, is the fact that of any year that I've ever watched the Oscars, the least seen films. I mean, no one has watched these movies. Mm-hmm. So this actually probably would be the year that you'd want to actually show some of the scenes from these movies because no one's seen them. Which is
and then maybe even say available on Hulu or something like that.
Maybe they're the most seen in that way then because they're all streaming except for The Father and Promising Young Woman.
But they weren't like these movies that are the big, like everyone's going to go see them.
There's no big special effects movies. There was no real big budget movie, really,
or any movies that got everybody talking.
No franchise, no nothing. It was. I would say the most indie slate of Best Picture nominees since like 1996. It was a really
2005 was all indie, except for Munich. That was the one big budget movie.
But
anyways, what made me think of it is when I heard Marlee Matlin was going to be there, I thought she was going to do the presentation for Sound of Metal.
Right.
When they did the intro for it. I thought that would have made sense.
And I'm glad they didn't. I mean, again, that's like great. Let's just, be as predictable as humanly possible, borderline a little bit ableist there. And like, okay, no, they changed it up a little bit, which was nice to see. It's like Michael giving Pam the squeakiest shoes award instead of longest engagement. Office fans will know what I'm talking about. Obviously,
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about, though. The Dundies, man. Good one. Anyway.
I feel God in this room tonight.
God. Yeah, I feel God.
So, okay, here's a good question. Is Anthony Hopkins going to present Best Actress next year?
No.
Oh, hell no. He's traveling the world.
From his island in the Caribbean.
He's got another movie coming out like next week, I think. I saw.
Yeah, it's something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, he might show up.
So we got Anthony Hopkins, Frances McDormand's obviously going to be there. Daniel Kaluuya is going to be there. Yu Jun Yoon. I mean, I wouldn't put it past her to be there, but I mean, hell, I honestly have no idea. What does she do otherwise?
I like that her biggest movie inspiration was Robert Altman. Wasn't expecting that. Big Robert Altman fan. Okay, great.
I don't believe in competition. I must have just been the luckiest.
Yeah.
I think she's a little pissed at Brad Pitt for mispronouncing her name. I think Brad was also a little sloshed tonight. If we're being honest.
Well,
like
they also
mispronounced award season.
Yeah.
Yeah, they also mispronounced Minari at the Best Picture part too. So
at least they got the name Marcia right, like Marcia.
He mispronounced Bakalova too.
He did.
Bakalova
or something like that.
Yeah.
Gotta love Brad.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're starting to wind down here a little bit. This has been a lot of fun to talk about.
Is anybody actually watching this? I mean, is anybody actually watching this?
There's 5 people in here right now. Hi guys.
There's 5 people watching us.
Round of applause for those 5 people. I mean, you're really putting up with a lot. It's
yeah.
It's not easy.
We're having random deep dives inside of our live Oscar reaction. I mean, now you see how our brains work and what kind of a mess any conversation with us ever is about movies.
Who won the Oscar challenge? And we should do a quote of the quote of the ceremony.
Okay. So winner of the Oscar challenge. I haven't fully tallied it all up yet. I've been too busy talking to you knuckleheads, but it sounds like it's Josh Nix.
Yeah, with 4.
Josh Nix. You only missed 4. I think that's the top. I haven't had a chance to fully look.
Doesn't Josh Nix sound like the name of someone in like a AA baseball team, like a pitching prospect for the Padres or something? Am I crazy?
It could be.
You're right.
I think the real winner of the night though is the submission by John White, who only got 1 right, and that was Chloe Zhao for director.
Same guy from last year.
Yeah,
it must be because he had the same thing he did. Just the director. He got the Parasite director right last year too.
Which is impressive because if I was trying to get everything wrong, I probably would have picked the Judas and the Black Messiah song to win Best Original Song.
Or Colette.
Yeah, I probably would have picked Colette too.
Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations, Josh. He's gonna be shocked. I mean, yeah,
I was going for 2 in a row.
On this,
so mad.
And, but we also have to shout out the usual constant champion, which is Kyle Heck. He missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What the hell, Kyle?
I think I beat him.
7.
I beat him.
What did I miss? 6 or 5?
God, you missed.
6. Damn it!
You missed 6. So you tied with him. I missed 8.
Emma. I told you,
Emma's the LVP.
Winning wins.
Emma was the LVP because Terry talked me into picking Emma for one of my awards. And I thought, that makes sense. I didn't?
No!
You did. No, I talked you into picking it in costume, then you didn't even choose it.
Oh, I didn't? Oh, okay.
I missed it.
What did I pick?
You picked Ma Rainey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You beat me, didn't you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, he tied. Tied. Yeah, you guys tied. I would have been closer to you guys if I hadn't have switched to Quo Vadis Aid at the last minute.
Okay,
I was
wrong
looking at
earlier.
everyone and
Charlie
like
McGivern actually picked Anthony Hopkins too. So me, Arlette, and Charlie, whoever that guy is.
yeah, I don't know.
Good job.
I was looking at the list and I'm like, man, everyone is like so similar. I've got to do something to make me stand out. So I tried to predict the shocker, and I just predicted the wrong one.
Predicted Frances McDormand. I think we're all idiots. Why didn't we just think Frances McDormand had a chance? Like, that's ridiculous. Now looking back on it.
I knew four people had a chance.
Oh, that yeah, but we knew it was up in the air, but no one really made the case for Frances McDormand, as evidenced by the fact that she was completely ignored by our contest. But now looking back on it, it makes so much more sense, and I feel like an idiot. Although I did predict Nomadland. Middle of the ceremony, you guys were ready to jump ship. Let's be clear about that. You guys were like, oh, it could be Judas, could be Sodom. No. They're spreading it out. That's a good thing for Nomadland, okay? That's going to help Nomadland because now it has to win something. You can't just leave it with Best Director, right? It has to win more.
Anybody have Chicago 7 going with 0? That's what I want to know.
I don't think I predicted it.
You did, Todd.
I mean, but did anybody actually see that happening?
Well, the only shot it had was editing
or screenplay.
Yeah.
I didn't think
it wasn't going to win
picture.
I didn't think it was a top 3 likely Best Picture. I had it number 4. It bit of a movie.
So fun.
You were the only one that had it in the top 3 of picture, Todd. Remember that? Remember that conversation?
Yeah, but I mean, I can't believe it actually didn't get anything. Nobody was actually considering that. Everyone was saying The Irishman's going to go without any Mank, I mean, Mank was going to be like The Irishman. I mean,
well, but Mank had one locked in for sure. It was winning production design.
Yeah, what's funny is I saw a bunch of the last 4 years of Oscars. The favorite lost, and the runner up was the winner on Gold Derby. Gold Derby had like the last 4 years, like the runner up was always on Gold Derby was the winner, and Trial of Chicago 7 was the runner up this year on Gold Derby for the odds, I guess. So
every time we say the favorite lost in this category, I just want to say, but Olivia Colman did win. So
yeah.
Did you notice that one of the nominated editors had a name very similar to Yorgos Lanthimos?
Yes,
it was Yorgos Lanthimos.
It wasn't. It was his first name was
Yorgos. It's Yorgos Lanthimos.
Lanthimos.
Yeah, and I actually on IMDb it had a link, or the link on that nomination went to Yorgos Lanthimos' name or his page, and I was like, wait, no, there's no way he edited this movie. And
did they ever fix it?
Yeah, they did eventually, but not when it first came out.
And then William Miller got a nomination.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys have a quote of the ceremony?
Yes.
I do too. Todd, why don't you go ahead?
So Daniel Kaluuya said, would you like me? Because I do not work tomorrow. He says, I'm going to get back to work on Tuesday, but tonight I'm going up. So cheers, guys.
So my quote is something that every filmmaker should think at all times, and that is, what would Werner Herzog do? Oh, that's what Chloe Zhao said.
There we go.
Great call. Yeah.
I immediately texted that to Todd and Zach because we always talk about Werner Herzog and how he makes films. Adam, what's your quote?
Zach, do you have one?
Oh, mine was from an article in Variety last week about Steven Soderbergh, where he talks about his quote is it's regarding the 2000 Oscars where he won. He says, "First of all, I was drunk, and that's not a lie. That's the way I feel now."
There we go. So mine was going to be the Daniel Kaluuya, my mom and dad had sex quote, but I was like, okay, you mentioned. So I'm going to say, duh butt. I'm going to walk off.
And he's gone.
I'm embarrassed. Luckily, there's only like 2 people in here, so.
You should, yeah, and it's not going to live forever on YouTube. Good job, Adam. You should have walked off and just stayed gone. You should have just walked out and called it good.
We'll edit that off in post. We'll edit it out in post.
Edit it out in the live post production. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for sticking around with us. We went long enough to only have 2 followers listening to us at the end. But that's okay.
We should just invite them on. You want to come on and talk to us?
There you go. There you
Give
go.
them the link.
It looks like
All
anything
right.
sucked. We need sucked on there.
Yeah.
Or Ray Yazzie.
We will be back at you next week with a normal episode. I'm sure we'll have more comments then about what happened tonight. But until then,
I'm gonna remember.
yeah. Until then, have fun watching movies, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Good
See
night.
you later,
and good
guys.
luck.
There we go.
I have to get up tomorrow. I don't know about you guys.
I do too, but
Yeah, me too.